Good afternoon, good evening. Hello to people watching on the replay, my friends on YouTube and X. I'm glad to be here. And everybody, this is a very special episode of Coffee with Bob. This is the Coffee with Bob who has COVID episode. I just got back from the doctor, literally like 5 minutes. I wasn't even sure I was going to make it home in time to my home office to do this episode because they were taking so long with the test. But apparently I do have COVID, so that'll be fun. And it's appropriate that I've got my very good friend and I think all around amazing person, Dr. Irene Cop, with us today. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Irene Cop was very instrumental in helping me with my MS symptoms, and in a way that no one really anticipated, right? I actually started working with her to work with fatigue and all that good stuff. And a nice little side effect of her coaching was that it helped alleviate some of my MS symptoms that no one else could, drugs included, could alleviate. So, needless to say, she's gotten to be one of my very best friends, and I kind of like doing anything for her. So I'm going to bring her onto the stage now, and she's going to yell at me about having COVID. But here we go. Welcome aboard, Dr. Irene. I don't know if you heard me just now with the introduction, letting people know that I have COVID today and all that good stuff.
And no, I'm not going to yell at you.
I gave him a little bit of background. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I wasn't going to yell at you. I think it's actually, if there's one good thing that's come out of it, is that we no longer feel the need to push through and show up to work sick, right? That used to be a badge of honor that we had to show up and keep trucking no matter what. And it's like that the C-bug era has now given us permission to, oh, you're sick, take the day off, right? Stay home until you're better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't. So I actually started feeling a little down on Wednesday afternoon. It just started kind of washing over me. And I actually left the office to finish my day from home, and then stayed home Thursday. And then obviously today working from home to kind of work through it. And I just happened to have my 6-month checkup for my MS and all my medications and stuff like that for MS today. And I told her, I think I just have the flu. She said, we're going to test you for COVID just in case. Okay, great. So all the vaccines in the world don't help when it comes to COVID, apparently. So we'll see. So yeah, but I'm going to soldier through the program because I think it's important that people get to know you and people understand what you're working on. And I've noted the last couple of weeks, StreamYard's been having troubles with their streams. So I'm going to apologize to everybody in advance when we get some hiccups with the streams. That's kind of a thing that StreamYard is continuing to work on and make better. So we'll do it that way. So Dr. Irene, let's talk about you, because that's what this is really about, and some of the things that you have going on today. I kind of gave a brief introduction originally that said how I got to know you, right? I was working with you and your coaching, dealing with my stress, dealing with the chronic burnout I was experiencing from work, how to best manage that and work through that. And it was through that coaching that it actually started to alleviate my MS symptoms, which was amazing. And it's symptoms that drugs couldn't even alleviate. And I know that you've been expanding your practice a little bit to start looking at people like doctors and nurses and doctors' offices and other more corporate kind of realm. Talk about that a little bit.
Thank you. I'd love to. And actually, if you don't mind being put on the hot seat a little bit, the love seat, uh, I want to
Sure.
go back and explain because you're the perfect example, the poster child for what we do, right? In that you are this crazy busy, C-suite executive in your day job, your Kent job kind of thing. And right, it's
Yeah.
like you're this amazing servant leader who gives, 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 and in the past, I'll say gave until you were bled dry. Right? We've you've mentioned in testimonials, so I'm not like giving away confidentiality here. We've talked about, just how burned out you were, how stressed out you were, overwhelmed, history of trauma, all of this going on. And so, from my perspective, I would go, yeah, no wonder you got multiple sclerosis because trauma, chronic or overwhelming stress directly causes the inflammation that causes autoimmune disorders like multiple sclerosis, causes the inflammation that causes obesity, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, cancer, infections, right? And and it also directly causes your sleep to go down the crapper, your metabolism to tank,
Mhm.
right? So it has like all these very physical effects. And so autoimmune disorders is what I call a symptom. And I'm as a medical doctor, I get it, right? I know what the mainstream medicine teaches. And they talk about multiple sclerosis as a diagnosis, or it could be Graves' disease or any other autoimmune disorder. They talk about cancer as a diagnosis. It's really a symptom of how inflammation is attacking a tissue in the body. And so we can see how it directly led to the diagnosis of your symptom, right? The damage to the tissue, in this case, your neurological symptom in your brain and central nervous system. And when you said it's a miracle to have your MS symptoms disappear, I was like, no, to me, it's a no-brainer. All we're doing is helping you, empowering you, teaching you the tools to heal the chronic stress, the burnout, the history of trauma, the damage of the trauma to your nervous system, right? So what did that do?
Mhm.
It dissipated the inflammation that was directly causing your symptoms, right? So you could say that's in its essence what we do with all of our clients, whether they're corporate or whether they are individual, right? In other words, we've worked with everything from individuals right through to top athletes and C-suite executives like yourself, um, performers, and it all comes down to this, that you cannot separate your mental, emotional health from your physical health, and I'm gonna even say your spiritual health, right? It's all in one, and by the same token, you cannot separate out your your body health from the health of your career, your success, your wealth, your relationships. In other words, don't kid yourself that if you may be feeling the pain in one area of your life, and that may be your mental emotional health, that might be your physical health, that might be your relationships, or maybe you're just feeling like brain fog, can't focus, worried that you're getting early Alzheimer's because your memory has gone down the crapper. And right, so you may be feeling it in one area of your life, and I guarantee that if we dive deep, it's impacting every single area of your life. And so that's why people are like, why are you a medical doctor and you talk success? Why do you talk leadership? Why do you talk, right? And it's because I recognize that you cannot separate that out. So I have basically married my 30 years as a doctor and everything that, and that's both Eastern and Western medicine, in with that education and experience, along with the leadership, along with the business credentials I have, along with the resilience, like teaching resilience, and that's mental resilience, emotional resilience, and I'll say physical, especially neurophysiological resilience, like literally making your brain stronger so that it can withstand the impacts of chronic or overwhelming stress that leads to burnout, which then leads to what I call flame out syndrome, which is that final catastrophic breakdown, like you've got nothing left,
So
you're adrenally
okay,
exhausted.
I don't know if you're actually frozen or if you stopped talking yet.
I stopped talking.
Oh, okay. I don't know what people are seeing or not, because I'm seeing you freeze up. I'm seeing. Did you hear all that?
No, I see you freezing up.
Yeah. Did you hear my whole explanation? What was going on?
I just heard that you said you were freezing up, or I was freezing up.
Yeah. So you're freezing up as well, and yeah, the images are disappearing. And I moved while you were talking. I moved, and I'm like right on top of my Wi-Fi router, which I have gig speed here. So that
Mm.
I don't think it's the connection that's the issue. I think it's StreamYard's having some issues here. So um, I think we're going to say we're going to call it now for technical difficulties. And can I have you on next week, next Friday?
Absolutely, we will make it happen.
Do you have time?
Mhm.
I mean, we can try and struggle through, but I don't know how much people are getting. And when it comes to
It's
the
okay.
replay, yeah. So next Friday. And I think we might just do a LinkedIn audio rather than a live video. Let me see what I can figure out what's going on with StreamYard. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you so much. And I'm sorry about the difficulties. Just hang with me a second. Okay.
Will do.